Alright, well, welcome back once again. We're getting ready to install the new bushing, which you saw the old one. And to prevent that problem from happening again, we're going to take some grease and pretty much grease everything. Alright. We're okay, George. We're ready to put this back in the cur.
Who's George?
I don't know. George of the jungle. Who the fuck ever I feel like George is? Alright, so we had a little bit of a dilemma. On the other side, when I was doing this, I put the bushing on this side, and then just this dropped into place. The two studs here dropped through the little control arm, and worked out kosher. I had to jack it up a little bit and get it in position. This side wouldn't be so cooperative. It was just it was a tiny bit off. It was actually catching on the throughput for the studs by the threads. So we put the washer on the other side and tightened that nut down a little bit to pull it, and that actually made it fit in place. Then just use a little hammer to tap it in. Nice and solid there, and then I'll put the nuts on the back of it and reassemble everything. So, yeah. No,
yeah, lower that.
Yeah. There it goes. Alright. There you go. You bitch!
Yay, I helped.
You did help.
Nap time. Oh, I touched your heater.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm on fire.
You're gonna melt. That's torque to proper spec there.
Doesn't matter if it's cross-threaded or torque to spec. Tight is tight.
That's good for me.
Yay.
As always, when we do suspension work to your car, be sure to take it to a professional, which is not us, to get a professional alignment.
Man, that white line sway bar though.
What about it?
It was like such a great install. I remember it.
The rear one was fun. We broke the bracket.
Yeah?
I had to have him fucking send me another one.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, if anyone from White Line is watching this, which I know they're not, you won't explain your end link system to me. You're touted as being like, you know, rally, heritage, best products, fucking top dollar goodness, fucking awesomeness. And that is a doofy looking end link. Now,
Explain that.
I've talked to your engineers through email, and they say that that is what they think is the best solution to end links on this archaic setup. Better than just the factory way it was, which was like, you know, a standard end link connector. Logical. But if you work at White Line, you want to chime in on why your end links look like goddamn you put them together in 4 minutes on a whiteboard after you built the bars, I'd appreciate that. Alright, motherfucker.
And explain why they're extremely cheap and easy to break.
Yeah, well, the rear, these are alright. I mean, this bracket's pretty fine, but the one on the back was just a fucking bolt with a head cut off, welded on, fucking piece of plate metal.
Mm-hmm. Something a monkey and a welder could have made.
Yeah.
Hey, so now we have to take this dust shield off of this caliper bracket because the rotor won't fit with this on. So you either have to trim it off or break it off, and we're breaking it off because we don't want to keep it. So we just have this pry bar and a hammer, and Tony wanted me to do this because he said he didn't want to get made looking like a bitch again. So
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it no more. I won't get it, and then Mike will get it in a fucking goddamn fell swoop, or he'll break the vise.
I'll probably break the vise.
I hate you so much.
So you gotta find where the spot welds are. This is way too flimsy.
It is a dust shield.
I am going to mount it on the sturdier part.
That makes sense.
That was one of them.
What did you do there, Mike?
I broke a weld. broke weld number 2.
Got it.
Okay, so now that we got the dust chute off, we're gonna clean this up and we're gonna powder coat it black.
Cool. Today we're gonna continue where we left off. I've been told I need to watch my potty mouth. So let's get to it. Mike was kind enough to powder coat this brake caliper bracket, as you can see. And then we're gonna assemble this, and it's just all gonna work. It's gonna run. It's promise it's gonna run. I swear it's gonna run. Alright, let's get to it. Let's do this. Let's do this stuff. Let's do it. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, come on. It's assembly time. That's the best time. Let's see. I believe it goes just like. Fuck. Go. There's one. Broke my swear jar already. Beautiful bracket with dirt covered bolts. When you are tightening bolts on, you want to make sure that you keep your hand in between yourself and the spindle if you're doing this, because you don't want to damage your spindle. That's a bad thing. Spindle is part of the shock assembly, and it doesn't really matter, but you don't have to go pulling that out and replacing it because you marred up your spindle real bad. So Mike, where's the super at?
It is currently over my spot without a brain.
If I only had a brain. Why does it have a brain, Mike?
But I ripped out the Pexi Neo to sell it, and I'm upgrading to the Greddy E-Manage.
Yeah?
And it's on the way from Japan. I tried to overnight it, but it's taking 3 weeks.
Not in time for Race Wars.
No, I'm gonna miss Race Wars this year.
Alright, that's good.
I'm gonna have to resort to stealing DVD players.
Jesus. Alright, well, you know, the next section, if memory serves, is gonna be building the hub. We're gonna go with that next. We're gonna attach our rotor to our hub, and then we're gonna build the back of the hub, slide it on and build out, do all the greasy fun stuff that we gotta do yet. And then we're also gonna do our brake line here in a minute, probably before we go any further, because I forgot about brake lines. So we're gonna do the brake line, and then we'll do what I just said, because we're all out of order, and to be fair, it's already 10:30. There should be another one there, yeah. Cool. So the way this works, you still recording? Cool. You have this one that goes on the bottom, and there's a space in the middle here on the very top, and you fit this up and through the bracket, and then you slide this over the top, and the bracket goes in between, it locks it in place so it doesn't move. And you always want to be careful not to get a whole lot of dirt down inside your lines or on the end of your fittings. Clean them off if you can, because you don't want the brake dirt to flow into the caliper. Alright, now I can get this end out, I believe. Yeah. That is not right now. Ta-da! You filming? Mm-hmm. No one pay attention to the condition of my fittings. Alright, so this is the back of the hub, and you take the front of the rotor like this, and you're simply going to line up these bolt holes, which there are 4 of, with 14s. And then you're going to take some anti-seize and put it on your bolts, which I'll do in a minute off camera, and then you'll see me tighten them on. Oh, that's a huge glove. Alright, so we're about to start reassembling the brake caliper rotor hub assembly. The first thing you want to do is, with nothing on here, you want to make sure this is real nice and clean. Whenever you're dealing with grease or lubricants or any of that kind of stuff, if you think to, change your gloves out. So we're just going to smear some grease all over the spindle. Doesn't have to be a whole ton, because it's going to get a bunch of grease on it anyways. You just want to make sure you get a good, nice coating on here. And once you start putting grease on, you really wanna, you're not against a clock per se, but you don't want to, you know, leave it exposed forever. Not a good thing. Not the best thing anyways. This is a bearing packer. Welcome back. You're supposed to have more grease in this, but I don't have enough packed in here. And you put a bearing in this, a wheel bearing. You can do it by hand, but this is a cheater way, even though it's creating a little more work for me because I need more grease in it. What you're gonna do is put your bearing in, slide this on top, and it can screw down. It catches on the threads, and then it screws down, it forces grease up and through the white packer, and then it pushes grease out the top and preloads the bearing with grease for you. I really need more grease in this for it to be effective. Sadly, I got the wrong kind of grease when it comes for that because I got it in the tube instead of the, you know, the tub, whatever you want to call it, cylinder of grease. So I'm just going to work it like this, and I'll probably hand pack a bearing for you so you can see what that looks like. And it's almost all the way there. You can see it coming out the top. Try to, Mike. And you can still see the rollers on the one side, so it's getting there. It's packing it full of grease, but we need to keep on working it until you see grease coming all out around the top, and then you just smear it all over. Get some of that grease in my hand. And I'm just gonna make sure I got it all the way packed, and it looks like it's pretty good. This is some thick grease. Alright, so now you've got your bearing completely covered and coated and overwhelmed with grease. You're just gonna drop it in the race. Get it situated nice. And just rub that grease around in there again. And next you install the wheel seal on the back. And all you're gonna do with this guy is lay it on top. Start to go push it in there by hand. You're obviously not gonna be able to push it in there by hand. My best recommendation to you is to get a chock of wood, which is right there, and then just lay it on top. Then you start hitting it in. You can see that side already went in. Now the bad side of that is you get a little bit of wood filings on the top of the seal, but she'll be alright. Should be okay. And you have got your seal in. Just make sure it's nice and flush. Have a little bit of that grease from inside there and rub it on the seal itself. And you're ready to put it back on. What we're going to do now is we're going to take grease and we're going to pack it inside of the hub. And you want to pack a lot of grease in the hub, as much as you really can. And you're just going to glob it out by your fingers like this, right? And you're just going to shove it the fuck in there, just like that, until it's pretty much coming out the other side. You really want to pack this thing full of grease. Alright, so now we've packed the hub full of grease. We're going to put it on the spindle, and you're going to see grease come out of it, and you want to try to shove as much of that back in there as you can. That wasn't so bad. So then you just kind of keep your foot there, whatever you want to. Grab your pre-packed wheel bearing, because I didn't wait for you guys for this one. If you can get it, fuck it out of the goddamn packer. Fuck! Got it! Oh, wait, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's good. It's good. You want to take more of that grease. So much grease. And then you just kind of want to shove it in there. Other way. I think you're right about that. I think I'm having a brain fart. Oh, look at that. That's good. That's what you're looking for. Oh yeah. You know it's good when you have grease going fucking everywhere.
That means you packed it.
That means you packed it, alright. Alright, and then you want to take your thrust washer, your new thrust washer, and just kind of rub more of that grease on there. Like that.
I think you need more grease.
Nah, man. I think I need all new grease.
You need to, like, grease flush it. That's what you need.
You want to get this guy on there like you shouldn't. Oh, yeah. Mike, I think I need more grease.
Me too. Let's go to the store.
Really, this is overkill. What the fuck ever. Keep cleaning your hands off. Alright. right, where are we at? We're at the nut part. You still filming?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about something important.
Nuts.
Nuts.
Don't get them pierced by a number 2 pencil.
That's an old story. Not by me. That was a thing in high school.